because it says I'm not live, but I think I am actually live. If we are live, be patient. It's coming. It says we're almost there, waiting for the broadcast to be published. Almost there. Be patient. Apparently I'm live. Good day, everybody. It's Wednesday. My name is Todd Standing, the very controversial Todd Standing. I guess I want to talk about that a little bit first. And I had quite an interesting discovery this week in a conversation. So lots of stuff. Make your questions come quick. But first thing I wanted to say was, they're the SoCal Forest Ninja, happiest wife ever. You guys, this is what I wanted to talk about first. Is I'm the man that takes people out into the field and has them either live interact with or eyewitness a Sasquatch. I say this. I've filmed Sasquatch. I take people out, show them the reality of Bigfoot. And that's why I'm so controversial. When you talk about Jeff Meldrum, who I think is amazing, you talk about John Benernagel, who is a mentor and wonderful. These guys aren't controversial because they don't really have any evidence they're putting out there that's, enormous and big. John Benernagel went around talking about the Patterson footage. Jeff Meldrum has all these incredible tracks, most of which he did not cast and was not responsible for. So even if something that he has isn't real, even if a track isn't real, it doesn't damage his reputation. But I get what I wanted to say today was not about the controversy. I don't care. You know what? This is the wolf pack. We are lions. And what I want to say is all Central Michigan Bigfoot researcher, Phil, Amanda, I want to talk about you guys and how absolutely badass you are. Do you know why? Because you support this controversial, crazy guy who has all this incredible footage, has all these ridiculously incredible things, and no matter what anybody tries to tell you, you're not fooled by it. You see through it, you support me, and I am so grateful for you guys. I hear all this stuff all the time. Todd, you're awesome. Todd, you guys are awesome. You guys are amazing for supporting the most controversial figure, period. If I'm really telling the truth, which I am, no wonder I'm controversial. People are competing against me. Why would you compete? Cooperate. Give me a call. Let's cooperate. Let's work this out. That's really who I am. So this immensely controversial figure would like to deeply thank all the lions that will not stop supporting me. All the lions that are out there saying no matter what these people are bitching and complaining about with me, no matter how much they try to convince you that the world is flat, you believe my photographs of a nice round planet, you believe me when I tell you that the evidence is there, and you look through all the crap out there and you just see the truth. And I just want to say so much heartfelt thank you. The lioness Amanda, Phil that does with the website, the expeditioners that come out with me, the guys that are on here supporting me, that go online and stand up for me. You guys are awesome. We fight so hard for this discovery, and I couldn't do it without you guys' support. There were years ago, you guys should even know this, years and years ago, back after I filmed the video 5, when I filmed the Jake footage, I remember coming back, and the video 4 footage, when on search and rescue went looking for me, almost killed me. And then I did the same damn thing, busted my ass, just about killed myself again. Like I go on an expedition, I come back, like when search and rescue went missing for me for video 4, I slept for 3 freaking days. My wife had to wake me up so I would eat, and I woke up and went to the bathroom. I was so freaking exhausted. Do you know what that does to your body? Look at me coughing. Look at the damage. If you saw the damage I've done to my body, it's ridiculous. And I do this stuff because I'm so passionate about this discovery. And anyways, after I filmed video 5, man, I was so beaten down. It took me a month to recover from that. I work out. I train so hard. I'm super, super fit. You look at, I'm a big Avengers sort of superhero fan. I am. When I looked at Captain America's stats, 6'2", 240 pounds. Every year when I go into expeditions, I am 6'3" and I am 240 pounds lean. As lean as I can be. And when I'm done expeditions at the end of the year, no matter how much I eat, no matter how hard I try to pack on the calories, I come back at 220. I get my ass kicked in the expeditions because they're tough, they're hard. Not all the expeditions are like that. I'm doing expeditions now with people that are with people that are much less fit, because I want this discovery to be about everybody. And in truth too, being my size is it's great for I think it's kind of ideal to lead expeditions, because if somebody falls into the river, I can rip them out. If somebody's fallen off or something happens, I'm strong enough to be quick and make movements. I can deal with the bears really well because I'm very strong. I'm very acutely like built more for sprinting. But the real tough guys are those 5'10" and down to 5 feet tall men and women that have that endurance that can survive off of 2,000 calories a day. I need 4,000 calories a day, and what I do is look out for my people when I'm on my expeditions. I do the best I can with endurance. When you're a big guy, when you're as big as me, our endurance sucks, guys. You look at those long distance runners, man, those guys are little beasts. Like, even Survivor Man is like that. He's so tough. Survivor Man asked me to do the Survivor Man series, and I laughed at him. I was like, I can't do that. I'd come back at the end. I'd do 6 episodes of Survivor Man. I'd come back at 170 pounds, near dead. Survivor Man, what he does, it's highly specialized. You can't be big. You can't be Captain America and do that stuff. You got to be the little guy that kicks ass fast. So in cooperation with the big guys and the little guys, we're all out there fighting this together. And I just wanted to tell you guys, like, just heartfelt gratitude for your support, because people are smashing me all the time, right? I mean, holy crap. And you see this cooperation amongst the haters and all the garbage going on out there. And it's so awesome that you guys I see it so much. You guys are standing up for me, and standing up for the truth. It's not really about me, though, is it? It's about Sasquatch. For God's sake, if you thought I was faking this, those people that can't be convinced, why the hell would I be faking it? If I'm faking it to prove the species is real. I'm taking this evidence into a court of law and swearing on a Bible it's real, presenting the evidence, perjuring myself to prove Sasquatch is real. But it's not. It's not fake, guys. It's absolutely real stuff. I fight for this stuff. I bleed for this stuff. Man, when I look at those videos, even I go back and look at them and I remember what it took to make those things happen. The blood, the sweat, the tears, the fight, the battle, the cooperation, the power of that was immense. So anyways, so what I quickly, before I start answering you guys' awesome questions, is I've been talking to expeditioners all week, getting all those organized. The expeditions are almost all full this year. Just been able to I'm a little sick. I get sick quicker than when I get a cold. It's really bad because my lungs are damaged from hiking around in -20 weather. You don't go hiking up an altitude mountains in -20 when the air is thin. I felt great, but what I didn't realize is the damage I was doing to my lungs. It's really like I've done more damage than a smoker would have. Never smoked in my whole life. I'm super healthy. I train, I eat well, and man, it's been, the high out. Don't go hiking in -20. Don't go up into altitude in -20. Your lungs aren't built for it. You're just gonna damage yourself. So don't do it. Nobody told me that. When I went and saw a doctor about that, he's like, he didn't understand. Like, I have this incredible lung capacity, and I still do, but there's real damage to my capillaries. And then I started talking to him, and then he figured it out. Like, dude, you can't. The air is thin and it's -20, and you're hiking and breathing heavy for hours and days and at a time. Just does bad damage. So don't do it. You only got one body, right? So no. So what I had. So this I talked to. This is the second expeditioner I've had from New York State, and the second gentleman this is a younger guy from New York State who's had a Sasquatch encounter in New York State, which is it's a good Sasquatch encounter. He didn't see it, but it's just all the stuff that happened. We're both pretty convinced that it's extremely likely it was a Sasquatch. The other gentleman that I spoke to years ago that was a trapper out in the New York State area, and the encounters that he was having was unreal. And he was scared off by the Sasquatch, and I convinced him, the Sasquatch are your friends, man. The Sasquatch are impressed with you. And I remember firmly convincing him of that over a period of weeks, and then he just disappeared. He went back and started doing those expeditions, and I would like to have known what happened with him. And if you're out there, you know who you are, the original New York trapper. I'd love to hear what happened, because I know you were going back, and so I didn't get that. But anyway, so talking to this expeditioner this week, I just, boom, it was just this awesome, profound thing. So what's been really bothering me is the Sasquatch DNA. There's 19 female humans that have bred with Sasquatch, and when it shows up in the DNA, these are facts, guys. This is not being argued. I've seen the DNA. I've had a geneticist come out on an expedition with me with a paper that thick. And when we're not out hiking around at night, we were looking at the DNA, and he was showing, he's a medical doctor who did his master's in genetics. He knows his stuff. He's read the reports. It's not controversial. The DNA is there, and multiple different labs have confirmed the fact that it's 19 times a male Sasquatch had bred with a female human brain and produced viable offspring. But this is what got me. Viable offspring. So a Sasquatch breeds with a human female, and they have a baby. And that baby goes back and breeds into the Sasquatch population, because if it dies, there's no record of it. And even that being said, how many times has a Sasquatch bred with a human female and the offspring didn't make it? 19 times it successfully bred back into the population. My problem was, how the hell could humans are weak, very weak. And it bothers me that the Sasquatch DNA is tainted with human DNA. So it really, because I thought now Sasquatch aren't pure Sasquatch anymore, and I want that because they're amazing. I want them to be just a Sasquatch, right? But anyways, I figured out this week, it was so obvious. The answer was right there. You know, because I was thinking, okay, so a boy is born. A boy's going to get his ass kicked. The boy's barely going to be able to survive. A boy's not going to be able to be a dominant Sasquatch and breed back into the group. But a girl would, right? And it's on the female side. So when a male Sasquatch breeds with a human female and has a baby girl, she goes back in the troop, and you bet your ass she's going to get bred. If she's not going to get bred by the big male, when you have a male-dominated society like gorillas, one big male will breed with all the females. Doesn't matter if that male didn't even accept her and booted her out. Well, the other male Sasquatch that are even breeding with human females are going to go after her and breed with her, right? So that's what's been happening. I guarantee you, this is all deductively deduced, but I guarantee you the males that were the Sasquatch males, the bred with human females, that produced a male, that male is not going to breed into the population. There's no way. Only a big dominant male is going to do that. No chance of it. But a girl would. And that's what's been going on. And we just talked that out with my new expeditioner friend from New York this week. Isn't that cool? That just made me, I never talked it out. It always really bothered me. How can a human, a weak ass human, but a girl will get you, won't it? I'm telling you, man, that is like bang, awesome, punch in the face. So I love this stuff. I love having these conversations. And what's Andrew saying? There's not enough females to go right. Absolutely. Well, yeah, that's just, the females are so key, so key. So, and that's what it's going to be. It's going to be absolutely, and maybe the female, the human, the half female Sasquatch and human, maybe she was beautiful, maybe she had pretty eyes, maybe the big males did breed with her, right? So, but yeah. Anyways, so we'll get back to questions, and thank you so much for your support, guys. If and I'm not afraid to ask. The donations are always good. I'm on Patreon. You can go to my website and make a donation. We got posters that are going to be going out to the people that have been donating, and all these little cool, I'm going to be signing little cool cards and magnets and stuff and send that out to people. We're going to have merchandise and stuff. Excuse me. But anyways, so Michael Kuratsky says, I've seen you laying in the snow and some of your videos just relaxing and laying down at night. Yeah, the snow can be, when you're properly insulated, the snow can be like a blanket and keep the super cold snow off you. So I have done that, but you have to be wearing really amazing clothing, because when you lay down, you got to have the layers between you. And when anybody goes to sleep, your heart rate slows down, your metabolism slows down, and so you don't generate as much heat, obviously. So you got to be really careful with that. And that's a crazy way to have hypothermia get you, right? Because if you go to sleep and your body temperature drops a half a degree, and you're out there for 7 days, and it's, you do that every day, hypothermia will come on so gradually. Like, I've come back from expeditions blue, like literally my lips blue. I remember one time my wife made a bathtub for me, just like medium, very just warm water. And I went to put my foot in it. It felt like it was burning hot. It's like, ah! I was like, what are you doing? You're trying to kill me? That's burning hot water. It feels like it's boiling. And she touched it and went, oh my God, Todd, get in the goddamn tub. It's lukewarm. And it felt burning. Like, it felt like it was burning my skin. So, and that's a little bit what makes this frustrating, is you get these people that are knocking me and bashing me, and I've risked all this stuff. I love my life. I love this earth. I'm very passionate about it. That's why I'm so passionate about this discovery, because this discovery is going to change the world dramatically for the better. And I'm willing to risk my life to make this discovery. And I won't stop. It's just I'm built for this. It's what I do, and I love it. I'm passionate about it. I make the documentaries. I take people out on expeditions, and it's not going to stop. I fight for this stuff, and you people that support me are right there with me. You're my. I'd say I wanted to say lion, my lion pack, but we're wolves. You know, because this is North America. There's no lions out here, but you're my wolf pack, and I couldn't do this. The wolf, the power of the wolf is in the pack. Wolves, even two wolves, the stuff I've seen them do, they're awesome, and there's so much hatred going on for the wolves. And that pisses me off because they're a freaking keystone species and there's so much negativity towards them. But I'll be a wolf. And you guys, your support, and the men and women that support me in this, you guys are tough as nails. You guys are so tough. And it takes balls to stand up and like you guys do. It really does. Because so many cowards are, stabbing me in the back and saying horrible stuff and being total douchebags about stuff. And and you see coward. I mean, everybody sees it in real life. They're bullies and these little weak ass cowards and stuff like that. And I can't say enough about just looking at the support I'm getting from so many of you awesome people out there. And I love you guys. You know what? I remember the day I met Survivor Man, and so after we had dinner together, after we had Bigfoot poop that on this like fancy Fairmont 5-star restaurant, we were like looking at Bigfoot poop and stuff. We went to the lobby, and it was his birthday and stuff. Anyways, and somebody came up to him and hugged him and said, "I love you, Les." And he looked him right back in the eye and he said, "I love you too." And it was like, for me, I was like, whoa, you can't just say I love strangers. But he says he loved his fans, and he said maybe someday you'll understand. Because of you guys, I get it. So you guys are awesome. So do you still have plans to visit Mel, the other expeditioners on your expedition, and her Bigfoots? Maybe a reunion of the three of us? Who is this? Bodie Fish Blues. I know who that is. Okay, do you still have plans to visit Mel? So this is one of my expeditioners. I'm not going to say his name, from California, but I'd love to. Yeah, it's all about money, right? So, oh yeah, and there's expeditions this year too, my friend. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens, right? Are you coming back this year? And is Mel coming back this year? So, what I'm doing right now is I'm working with new expeditioners. My old expeditioners, they're there. They're going to come in. Uh, I'm building up my expeditions and what I want to do is I want to be me, one experienced expeditioner, and one new person. So that's kind of the way I'm building it up. That way I've got, I don't know, I just like having an experienced person out there. The expeditioners that are coming back, so you people, in case you don't know, over 90% of my expeditioners are coming back. And they're well trained, they're highly intelligent people. I've worked really hard to go through, weed out the people in my I don't take everybody with me. You apply for an expedition and I make a decision based on what I hear about you, right? So, and just like people like SoCal Forest Ninjas and some awesome people on here, you can hear the authenticity of what they're talking about. And it's not been a coincidence. About 10% of the time I make a mistake and people don't have a good expedition, and nobody's perfect, and and I make mistakes with stuff, and life goes on. But these what we're doing as a cooperation, what you help for, Phil and Amanda and Rich and Andy and Stefan, all you people, all you warriors, all you amazing, amazing, awesome people. This is what we work for, is this discovery process moving forward, and it's really working. Without the donators and the expeditions and people watching the documentary and supporting these videos, there's nothing. I can't do this stuff. Do you understand? I'm a full-time Sasquatch researcher. Like, that's it. Jeff Meldrum's a professor. Les Stroud is an awesome celebrity. He gets huge. He travels all over because he's an amazing guy. He just, he does Nissan commercials. But when you talk about Todd Standing, you're talking about a man who wakes up in the morning and does Sasquatch. And Sasquatch, that's my job, is Sasquatch research, getting ready on expeditions, talking to people about Sasquatch, figuring out, learning new things, like today with the DNA on the female mitochondria side. This is my life. This is what I do because of you guys. So how I'm here because of you. Don't ever forget that. Don't ever. That's why I love you guys. I can't do this stuff without you. You support me 100%. My bills are paid because of Sasquatch research, because of you guys. You understand how awesome you guys are? Like, this is amazing. And we're growing and expanding. I had a freaking horrible year personally, and you people wouldn't give up on me. You're right there, had my back. You know what I found is most of my friends are expeditioners and Sasquatch people. So I get questions a lot like, isn't it hard doing the Sasquatch thing? What about all the haters and stuff? Forget that crap. You know the love and the integrity I've found doing this? That immensely outweighs everything else. Immensely. And hell, even the conversations, like Amanda's been noticing too, like it's just the positivity is just it's just out there, you know. Look at this. Look at you guys. All these awesome things you guys are saying. So, sound data given to the. This is Barger K.D. Brian D. Grover, big name. Sound data given to U.S. government verified that voice box 18 inches high and was a Bigfoot. Track heel moon from snow. Okay, this is just lots of stuff he's saying. I don't know. There's not really a question there. War in for you. War in for you. Okay, that's the person's name. Todd, you're awesome. See, this support. What do you think Sasquatch used for dressing your wound? Oh, good. You said it. You said you were injured, and the Sasquatch helped you out. Thanks so much, love. So I smelled pine sap for sure. It was a lot of pine sap, but the pine sap had coagulated. Pine sap doesn't get stiff like that, and then it was like maybe pine sap and some kind of earthy stuff was in there, and pine sap when you make it pure. So imagine pine sap is kind of clear, a little like a lighter brown, even when it coagulates. So this was darker brown, but it looked like there were little bits of plant in it. So it like they took a honestly, I would say, even when I talked to the doctor, it looked like three parts. It looked like pine sap, some kind of leaf was ground into it, at least one kind of leaf was ground into it, and maybe some kind of earth, or maybe bark, because it was brownish, right? Maybe it was ground up bark in pine sap with a leafy thing. So I would say there could be more than three, but I would say there's at least three different components. So now imagine how they make that. Do they have a bowl? Are they grinding it up? Do they put it in their hand and grind it up together and put it on? And you could understand too how a certain sort of bark would make spruce smell. Working in a mill and all. I put pine sap, I put spruce sap and Douglas fir sap in my mouth just to make my breath. And I don't know, I just like the smell of it. I find that I want to get that. I want to get the trees and the plants into my blood and into all through my whole body. I want to absorb the earth, drink the water, have my feet on the ground. Like I want to connect to the earth like a Sasquatch does. It's so important to me. And we're seeing that. I've been doing that. And the natives have been doing that forever. Walk around barefoot to feel better, to get connected. Just recently, they've actually, doctors are prescribing that to people. Go walk around on grass for an hour every day barefoot. And it's really helping people balance out their electrolytes and their chemistry in their body. And, so it's so good to do that, guys. Get connected to earth. Barefoot on the earth is so awesome and amazing. So, okay, so let's do some questions here. Pajuran Giants. I know I'm so bad at reading that stuff. Please accept my apology. What if Bigfoot gifts you with dead dogs while you're eating your chickens and harassing your family animals? That doesn't sound good at all. Dead dogs. That's bad. Just off the top of my head, that's it. Because if you love your dog and a Sasquatch killed your dog and put on your step, that's bad. That's really bad. That would piss me off. And, I'm making this deduction the way I would think a Sasquatch would make that deduction, because they're so pure. They're so just like a child in their innocence and things that are obvious to them. They just don't, that's how they perceive everything. It's so clear to me. So that sounds really bad. Yeah, that doesn't sound like a gift at all. Unless maybe that dog was annoying and harassing you and doing damage, right? So it's really hard. I really need a lot of information, because it's eating your chickens. I don't know. I'm kind of neutral about that. And harassing your farm animals. Harassing your farm animals, yeah. How would a Sasquatch harass them? They'd come around your farm animals, harass them, scare them. Yeah, that doesn't sound. That just sounds kind of derogatory, but maybe send us an email. I'd like to have a look at more of the information that's going on there. Take photographs. Really should be photographing and documenting everything. So just because, first of all, there's so many BSers out there, and second of all, there's other information. How was the dog killed? Was the dog smashed up really badly? You know, I've I don't want to talk about stuff that I've seen. I don't want to get too, let's not get too controversial today. But if a Sasquatch smashes you, I've seen people. I've seen. I'm not gonna. I've seen it. I've seen what happens when a Sasquatch gets angry at a person, and it's ugly. It's smashing. It's very disrespectful. Very, obviously an angry Sasquatch. If a Sasquatch wants to hurt you, he's gonna smash you. He's gonna crush you, and that's real anger. So I'm not just talking like a broken neck. I'm talking like a body that's been crushed, brutally crushed, a skull that's been smashed. That's somebody that really upset a Sasquatch, and that's what you're looking at. So don't mess with the Sasquatch. And if even if they're not in the rights, even if you're dealing with some kind of angry Sasquatch, because of course that's going to happen, you better give them some respect, boy, because if they want to get angry, they're going to be very, very dangerous. So, and even to people that have properties that have Sasquatch on them that are really upset, and the Sasquatch are very negative, my advice would just be move. If you can't deal with it, if you can't shift the paradigm, then move, because don't mess with them. They're just so dangerous, they're so powerful, and nobody's gonna freaking help you, right? So the day I go missing from a Sasquatch, and nobody's ever gonna find me, and nobody's gonna ever freaking believe it that a Sasquatch took me, if that would ever happen. But you have to understand too, I've been to at least half the research sites that I've been to where there's definitively Sasquatch. The Sasquatch don't want me there. They want me gone, and they're very hostile and negative towards me. It never lets up. So I leave. There's no fixing that. There's no band-aid for that. Even in Montana, I'm very convinced that the original male Sasquatch was very receptive to me, and the person that was hosting me there. And then it's quite clear to us that a new male took over the troop, and the activity was over. The new guy was like, "You do not go near people. You stay away from them." And literally, imagine how damaging that was to the researcher who'd spent nearly a decade there. He was devoted to the study of it. He'd spent hundreds of thousands of dollars working to move forward this research for Sasquatch in this particular area. He was getting good success. He had footage, and just like that, it all changes. It's all over. A new male takes over the group, no activity, and it's never going to change. He'll die in 20 years, and that new Sasquatch will not allow him to have any interactions with his troop. So a lot like the difficulty I had with Jake, who was in video 5, an incredible Sasquatch I was having. If there was ever going to be a Sasquatch that took an apple right out of my hand and walked up to me, it was going to be Jake, and he's gone. And what am I going to do about it? He grew up, and are you unhappy when your child grows up and goes off and lives his life and goes to school, and that's kind of what happened with Jake. So you can be sad about it, but that's life, right? He grew up, he had to go, he's not going to stay there. And so, but anyways, that Poldarian giants, that sucks. So send me an email. Again, since I am a full-time Sasquatch researcher, I would love to help. And if you want to help out, please do give a donation, discoveringbigfoot.org. So I am a full-time Sasquatch researcher because you guys. It doesn't take much, $5 a month, $20 a month, I don't know. Any little bit helps out. So because we are getting this done. Look at all the work that Amanda puts into this, and Phil building the website, and so many other people that are behind the scenes that just want to stay, that want to remain, don't want to go public at all, that are working so hard for this, and even other researchers that maybe don't affiliate with me, that I look at the stuff they're doing, and I'm just SoCal Forest Ninjas here. Why do you do it? Why do you spend money? Why do you risk so much? So, and the answer is I know why. I get it. Because this is, when you watch that Harry and the Henderson show, and there are those Sasquatch researchers that have just basically looked like they've destroyed and ruined their life. Or even that moment where that Sasquatch researcher sees a Sasquatch and he goes, woohoo! Because, he's, after all he's been through, if you remember that moment from Harry and the Hendersons, I didn't get it when I first saw that, because I wasn't even a researcher, and I was not convinced Sasquatch was real at the time. But rewatching that show just makes me smile, because I get it. I get the way John Bitternagel would feel if he saw a Sasquatch. John Bitternagel would have done that. Jeff Meldrum, after Jeff Meldrum saw a Sasquatch with me, I'll tell you, he was an awfully happy camper, and it was pretty awesome to be there for that. And all the people that I've been able to take out on expeditions that have seen a Sasquatch or live interact with a Sasquatch, it's just joy. It's bliss. It's an amazing experience. You know, people go skydiving and rock climbing and go on those crazy rides and stuff, and we go out into the wilderness and fight to bleed and suffer and work so freaking hard to make this move forward. So, happiest wife ever. Hello, Lola Gabriel. Hi, Todd. I have a question. Have you heard a Bigfoot talk or try to make human sounds besides whistles? The most profound one I ever heard was they call me. I'm coughing. They call me, and it bothered me. I'd heard them make that sound forever because that's what they call me. They would go. They'd try to cough, and I would hear the cough. I go, "What the hell? That doesn't sound like a cough." And right, but that's what they used to call me. They don't call me that anymore. And then I heard them do a "hey" because they were laughing at me, and it was really, I felt it in my heart. You know, it's dead silent. I hear ooh ooh, ooh and then "hey," right? Maybe without the little "y" at the end, but it was really like something had just happened where they just owned me and tricked me and fooled me. I thought I had the upper hand. The mouse thought he had the cat, and the cat was like, "No, you don't," you know. So I made a big deal about, "Yeah, I got the cat," and then a couple hours later, the cat went, "No, you don't, mouse." And you know, because I'm a student, they're my teachers, and they taught me a lesson, and I love it. You know, smiling because you know I love my lessons from them, but not really. You know, they have that growl, that growl that they do that's like a chainsaw and the big calls. I'm so. The whole evidence behind telepathic communication is so profound. To me, the communication thing is kind of weak because it's very clear to me they're telepathic. The evidence is profoundly obvious. I'm going to start talking about that in Discovering Bigfoot Part 3 probably, because what happened on expeditions. On expeditions this year, I'll tell you something. Multiple expeditioners, I'd say 1 in 3 expeditioners, had the same freaking dream. And they woke up saying the same thing. And you know what I started doing? I don't know, like the 5th time it happened, I wrote it down on a piece of paper, and I'd tell the expeditioners, so I got this envelope, I'm putting it up here, and I'm closing it, and if something happens, we're going to open it. And then somebody has the dream, and they wake up yelling, "Todd, Todd, Todd, Todd!" And then I go pull the envelope out, and I open it, and I go, "Did you just dream that?" And they go, "Yep, that's exactly what I was dreaming about." And I go, "You're the 5th, you're the 6th, you're the 7th person that's done that." So they're communicating something even through a dream. I know this. I'm sorry if it's paranormal. My teacher John Bitternagel will be a little upset with me, but it's not paranormal anymore, and we got to get over the old paradigms. John Bitternagel, wonderful, great, amazing man, very conservative in his movement forwards, and a lesson I learned from John Bitternagel is at the end, he supported my court case and he supported me getting batshit crazy because you don't have. I'm not going to be passing away when I'm 70 something years old like John without this discovery and having moved forward. And I am young and I am tough enough to go out there, get it done. You know, Survivor Man was out there till he was 50. I'm still in my 40s. And even today, Survivor Man could get out there and get back. Hell, John did great when he was 70 working with me, right? So it's really important that, you know, this discovery has to be done. I remember John used to say in his lifetime, but this is going to happen, guys. And because of your determination, because of your support in every way that you support me or this Sasquatch discovery, thank you so much. I'm so grateful for it. So I hope that answered the question. I went right off on a tangent there. From Utah, keep up the research. Watch every chance I get. I believe there's Sasquatch. Stay positive. Yeah, and I don't believe Sasquatch is out there. I absolutely know they're out there. I know Sasquatch are real. That's it. Have a good day. I won't be sending my pictures, Amanda, until I find things that could be faked. Plus, I don't want to go missing. What is going on, Northwest Olympics 411? I won't be sending any pictures, Amanda, until I find out things that could be faked. So Northwest Olympics 411 must have pictures that are not his. Because if you have your own pictures, I mean, I tell that to expeditions. I told that to the New York kid. You know what he's experiencing. Ari, are you kidding me? I have a beautiful Roddy. You can't be squeaking your toy, honey. No, you gotta stop. See, sorry, I got a nice. Can you stop that? I'm doing a live show. You're wrecking everything. Funny girl. But yeah, so if you have photographs, I mean, but Northwest Olympics, please, I think you should share them. I don't think there's any reason not to share them. And I don't want to go missing. You won't go missing. I know there's conspiracy stuff, and there is conspiracy stuff here, guys. No doubt about it. The stuff that I've seen, the computer analytical dudes that are coming up and saying, the internet's burying you. You know that there's Google searches that are hiding you, and all the stuff they've shown me. I know it. It's absolutely true. My phone's been tapped, and it probably is tapped. Half the time I say stuff on the phone, and I talk to the people that are listening. Oh man, the stuff, actually, it's so bad. It's so bad, the stuff that I've seen. It's clearly there is stuff going on. There's blockage, there's watching. It's very clear to me. But I don't want to make this, John Bitternagel taught me this, you don't take a paranormal subject and make it more controversial. I really don't want to do that. So, is damage being done to me? Not really. My house has been broken into. I can't, 5-6 times my footage has been stolen. So who did it? I don't know. But I don't know. You just keep moving forward, right? Let them try to stop you. There's going to be haters. There's going to be derogatory. Maybe the government is, I don't know. But I'm still here. Nobody's gotten rid of me. And when you get to the level that I'm at, taking people out, I have, 8, 9, 10 videos now. Like, it's to the point where if nothing's happened to me, and I don't have any protection, you want to get rid of me, I'm not hard to get rid of. You can snipe me, no problem. It's easy to find me. I'm not a hard guy to find. I'm not hiding or taking any, you know what I mean? I don't do that stuff. So, if I'm still here, you don't have anything to worry about. And I've been to the U.S. too. You can't say, well, it's worse than the U.S. No, man. I've been to the U.S. many times. Out there, I've seen Sasquatch in the United States. I have footage, video. Here, want to have a little something I never really talk about publicly? Video 2 and 3 are American Sasquatch. Those are not filmed in Canada. Didn't know that, did you? Video 2 and Video 3. Video 3 is probably, in my opinion, if I'm skeptical, it's probably one of the greatest pieces of Sasquatch footage ever recorded, because no man can run that fast. And the more research is done on that video, like Amanda did, that freaking Sasquatch ran faster than the fastest man over, I don't know, what is it, over 100 yards, maybe 110 or 120 yards. And he fell down. Can you imagine that? He was running, he fell, got up, kept running, and ran faster than any man could? Get that. Right? Get the fox out of here. Get that fox out of here. Right? And the more research that goes into that, the more people study that piece of footage, it's that crazy. That Sasquatch was, and the fact that Sasquatch had run, I don't know, it's all been deduced. I'm just off the top of my head, miles. He'd run 2-3 miles to get there. He ran super fast to get there, and then ran no sprinter. When you watch a sprinter run, those dudes, after they're done the 100 meters, they almost fall down from exhaustion. They couldn't do that again. They put everything into it. That's the fastest man in the world. Make that guy run a kilometer and then see how fast he runs that, right? Make that guy run a kilometer really fast, And the truth is that those miles that Sasquatch ran through the bush, he ran 3 times faster than a man. That's crazy. That is crazy fast. And then got through there and smoked that distance that he ran. He was running that fast the whole freaking time. Faster than the fastest man could run 100 meters. The Sasquatch was running twice as fast as that for miles. So it's really, really, really profound evidence. And that Sasquatcho is Americanus. Homo Americanus is what I like to call the Sasquatch in my papers and stuff. They're the original indigenous Homo sapien species in North America. So Homo Americanus is what my team and my scientists that I work with are calling Sasquatch. And they're the indigenous. There's no primate that lives in North America. Yes, there is. The Sasquatch are. So don't get mad if I'm calling them a primate. Kiss my ass. We're primates. We're Animalia. Let's not get ridiculous. I have real meatheads bitching about that. You're a meathead if you're complaining about me calling them. We're primates. Look at the primate thing. Chimpanzees, bonobos, orangutans, gorillas, human beings. We're primates. We're so freaking similar, it's ridiculous. So primates are primates, they're a primate. If you have a problem with that, get off the freaking channel because you're just such a little whiny. Oh my God, the stuff people whine and bitch about. You just gotta let it go. Just let it go, and I'm letting it go. But every day I hear these ridiculous, stupid things like, gosh, we're not animals. I'm not an animal. You're animalia. You're in the animalia category. Like, holy crap. Don't try to separate us from other species. You know, we're mammals, for goodness sake. You know, we give milk to our young. Like, we are mammals, right? Now are you mad I called you a mammal? Like, holy crap. We are, it's that disconnection from nature that I want to dissolve. That's what the discovery of Sasquatch is all about. It's connecting us back to nature. That's where we're from. All this technology and all these cameras and equipment and crap, this is not natural. This is not nature. We're built from nature. You don't, that's damaging to us. The medications that we're taking, the chemicals that we put in our food, you must understand. Like this whole organic movement. Food was always organic. What happened? Chemicals, technology, right? So it's very, very scary. So very scary in my opinion. But that's the main reason I fight for this discovery is Sasquatch and Bigfoot, same terminology, will it will definitively bring us back to nature, and that's in nature is the preservation of the world. Know it, live it, believe it, you know. So these are facts. Happiest wife ever. Are the babies born with hair? Oh gosh, must be. Wait, oh, I lost that. That was a good question. Are the babies born with hair? Are there spring? But I don't know because I've never seen a baby. The youngest Sasquatch I think I've ever seen, I would estimate, he was at least 2 years old, and he had like a fro, a little fro, a little afro. Like he was puffy. That was pretty big. Just thinking about it, I should draw a picture of it because his head was small. Just what was the most outstanding thing about the young Sasquatch that I saw? Vividly had a look at him. He was just so bloody black. His eyes were just black. His face was perfectly black. His hair and his eyes and his face were as black could be. You know, they call people black, and it's you've never really seen a black person. Well, anyways, these guys were this was jet black. His chest was black. I thought I was looking at a rock. I'd never seen anything so black in my whole life. Even a black bear's got brown on his nose, right? And well, black bears are really, really black, but they've got like a brown bit of snout on them. I'd never seen anything so nothing like just perfectly jet black. And it was cloud cover lighting, so I could see really, really well. Like it was clear, and he wasn't very far away from me. Gosh, he was only 25, 30 yards away. He was close. And he was standing there looking at me. The reason, it's one of those situations where you're so freaking exhausted. Like, I'm going to be honest. Like, I was exhausted. I was tired. That night, I stayed up way too late. And I remember looking at a ball, like a knot in a tree, and a branch up high, and it looked like it turned into a squirrel and started moving, then went back. So like you're hallucinating almost, right? Because I'm so tired, so exhausted, so damaged, so brutalized. But that's why when I saw that Sasquatch, I thought this is crazy. I'm just hallucinating. It's a black rock or something. And then I saw it clear as day, and then he blinked at me, and that's when I just shivers. And what is also extremely notable is I remember climbing over a log. I showed this to Survivor Man in an episode of Survivor Man. The log that I climbed over, or the fallen tree that I had climbed over. And I just felt like I was being watched so profoundly. And I'm telling you, I looked right at where he was. I knew something right in that spot was watching me. How many times have you felt that? But this is so I felt like he was like in my medulla oblongata. I was like, oh, I didn't even want to look. I was like, oh my God, there's something watching me. And I turned exactly there. Do you know how profound that is? Not only did I know I was being watched, but I knew exactly what direction to look in. So not only do I have that sensory perception, but it's stereoscopic. If you have only one eye or only one ear, you can't hear depth in sound, or you can't see things in depth. So I have stereoscopic telepathy, I guess, if you want to call it that. ESP, extrasensory perceptions, it's stereoscopic. I can feel where to look. And we all have that ability. everybody's had that, you feel like you're being watched, you look there and some dude's staring at you, right? So it was really, really profound. But anyways, really, really jet black. And how long do they carry their babies? I have no idea. Absolutely no idea. I've heard stories and stuff, and I base it on other people, but I would think that this little guy had no Sasquatch around him for at least, I would say, 6 yards. It could have been behind a tree, maybe ducked down. But that's what scared me about it too, is that's a baby. I was looking at a little grizzly bear, and you got to be careful, man, because mom is going to come around, and those moms can be very, very defensive. And with the Sasquatch, it's going to be worse, because the dad and the uncle and the aunt and the sister and the brother are all going to be defensive, because you're dealing with a group of a family group that's devoted to one another. There's really, guys, you got to understand that Fish and Wildlife are not capable of making this discovery. There are no primatologists that work for Fish and Wildlife, and primatologists have a lot to learn. They're the closest thing. They'll do well. Much respect for primatologists. They'll do well. They're on the right track. But primatology is like completely different than, bears and mountain lions. They're just the primate behaviors and their what they do and their survival, and it's just completely different from animals that we know of, known species that exist in North America, right? So, but yeah, sorry, I don't have much. I don't have much on the babies and stuff, so it's just not something that I've had personal experience. Todd, so this is from Graham Jams. Todd, have you heard of another bush hominid besides mankind in Sasquatch? Bella Colola has a smaller hair. Well, you know what? The little people, seen their tracks. The natives my teacher told me the little people are out there, and I found their tracks with John Bennett. I go, for God's sake. That was something that really unimpressed me about John. Was he saw those little tracks. They look like a little human being track, like a baby, literally exactly the size of a baby. The foot looked like a baby, but I mean, the weight of them wasn't much more than a baby too. They were walking in soft mud, but it was vividly. We were backcountry. We were out in the bush. I don't think it was a little Sasquatch at all. Young Sasquatch tracks look nothing like that, unless maybe it was like, they just don't look like that. Sasquatch tracks there should never be a time where a baby Sasquatch footprint looks like a human footprint. Never. I've seen very small Sasquatch footprints, and they're kind of like almost square looking. They have greater width to them. And I'm pretty convinced I've seen Sasquatch tracks from, let's say, like a 1-year-old probably. So again, they don't look like that. So, and my native teacher, who is one of my main mentors and teachers, who's passed away now, told me they're real. He told me a super funny story about one. I should tell you about this. This is pretty funny. So, native people have trouble with alcohol. The reason I think they have trouble with alcohol is they have freaking antifreeze in their blood. I'm not kidding. Native people can take cold like I can't even. It's ridiculous how well they take the cold. I'll take a native man and do Wim Hof Iceman training with him, and he will destroy every record. Those people are unreal. And I think when they drink alcohol, that's why it affects them so profoundly, because they got some kind of special blood. Anyways, my native teacher told me about one of the last times he was drinking. This is a really funny story. So he drank a whole bottle. I don't know how many, 750 milliliters. So whatever that is for ounces, I don't know. But he drank a whole one. He was just drunk out of his mind. And then he's like, fuck it, I'm going to drink another one. He's just having a bad day. And he was way out in the back country. And he was just going to get drunk and then, go on with his life. Just having a bad day. So, but he only drank a quarter of one of the bottles. And he felt like he was going to die. He was so drunk. So, so he took the bottle and he put the cap on it and he threw it in the bush. So, anyways, a few hours later, he was, he's kind of getting up and he was walking around. And apparently, he told me that a little person, this is so funny, I'm sorry. He told me that he saw a little person come out of the bush with that bottle, drunk, like it had been drinking the bottle, and yelled at him and then threw the bottle at him. And he said that he watched the little person fall down and then get back up and go, because he was all mad because he was drunk, because he drank the alcohol, and then stumble back into the bush and fall down. So It's a really funny story. That is so hilarious. That's one of the funniest stories I've ever heard. Could you imagine? So the native guy, my native teacher, got drunk, threw the bottle over there. A mini person, whatever you want to call them, little people he called them, drank and got drunk and then threw it back. Oh my God. And the way he explained it was so funny because the little guy was like, he's all mad because he's drunk, right? But anyways, so he told me the little people were real. And one time with John Benner, I actually filmed it too. So one time with John, it was funny too with John because John was so closed off to it. He would. I was like, John, look at these tracks. Like we're in the middle of nowhere. There's no baby running around here. Look at it walking. Like there was so much evidence to substantiate the reality of these tracks. And John just wasn't having. I think John was just kind of at the point in his life where it's like, if it's not Bigfoot, he's not doing Dogman, he's not doing aliens. You know what I mean? He's having enough trouble proving Bigfoot. He's trying to be scientific about things. He didn't want to blow himself off into another place. So respect for that. But I'm not like that. I don't worry about my reputation being besmirched because of the truth. I'll tell the truth. And because of all the people out there that are mocked and ridiculed because of real sightings that they've really had, it pisses me off that they're ridiculed and mocked and laughed. You know what? That's not cool. I support you guys. That's why my documentary's out there. That's why the Survivor Man Bigfoots are out there. For goodness sake, it's out there for you guys. You people go out there and you say Jeff Mildrum, John Benedigo, Les Stroud, and Todd Standing all have profound evidence, and we all know that Sasquatch exists. And you put that out there, and there's many, many other people, great men and women that are fighting for this awesome discovery, and they're real. So, you know, and I've seen people traumatized by the horrible, evil brutality they go through, being mocked, calling them liars, saying they're hallucinating. So, an example that I have a YouTube video about the three women that saw Jake, definitively saw Jake. He put his hand on their freaking vehicle. One woman went out to take a pee and he picked up their spot where they peed and he was smelling it. He put his hand right on their vehicle. They saw Jake. 100%. There's no doubt. But I'll tell you, these three women, one of them was like a nurse, another one was a massage therapist, and they're professional. These are really, really believable, amazing eyewitnesses. Very, very amazing eyewitnesses. And they definitively saw Jake in the lights of their freaking car. They saw him. Their husbands, their parents, their family members all laughed at them and mocked them. When I sat down with them, sometimes I sit down with them at a restaurant. They bought me lunch, came to visit me where I live. So I bought them all lunch, and I'm looking and they're talking. So I'm like this. I'm like, well, yeah. And they're looking at each other. They're confused because I'm not chastising them. They're confused because I believe them. And then they're showing me pictures of Jake and telling me more about his body that nobody's seen before and scars that he had. And then I go, well, that was Jake. And I smile and I go, that's awesome. You got to see Jake. Congratulations. You know what they did? They cried. They went, they started crying. And they came in, they were hugging me. I'm like, what the hell? One was crying on me and hugging me and crying. So I'm hugging her back because I felt bad. I'm like, what's wrong? They go, everybody called us liars. Everybody said, and it was at the point they were starting to question what they freaking saw. Can you imagine that? They went through so much trauma from their husbands and their fathers and their mothers and their family members. All of them were so mocked and traumatized by it, they were beginning to believe that they didn't see it. They were beginning to believe they were having a mass hallucination. That is evil. You don't do that to a human being. You don't let a human being see the truth and then turn the truth against them and make them think they're crazy. That's disgusting. I am disgusted by that behavior. And you know, I even told them, I was like, damn, if I wasn't married at the time, I'd be like, let's do a triple marriage here. I'll marry all three of you, and you get rid of those goddamn husbands. How dare they not do that? So, I have an awesome story that I'll tell you about. I can't say his name. He's a very, very famous man from Kentucky. Incredibly famous man. I just don't want to say his name because he's... anyways, I just don't want to. But I remember him telling me about... so this famous guy calls me after I was on Coast to Coast AM years and years ago, like in 2007, with Art Bell. He called me up, and his voice was like, he's like, do you know who this is? I was like, yes, sir, I know who this is. He goes, good. I want to tell you something. This was so awesome. This taught me one of my most profound lessons in my whole life. He says, okay, I want to help you. I want to voice over your documentary. I want to help you and assist you with your Sasquatch work because I need to tell you something, he says. So he's from Kentucky, and he says, when I was in Kentucky and I was growing up, my father we had so much respect for him. He was a hard-working man. And anyways, a man in the town we were in had seen a Sasquatch, and everybody was mocking him and laughing at him, and I was, and my brothers were too. We were making fun of this guy and saying bad things about him. And so we came in for dinner. My dad got the whole family in for dinner. He says, I need to have a talk. So everybody sat down for dinner, and before they ate, he said, let me tell you something. Nobody in this family will do anything but support that man or that boy who says he saw a Sasquatch, because Sasquatch are real. I've seen one and they're real. You don't mock that man anymore. Is that clear? And he said from that moment on, he says, I've never seen a Sasquatch, but I know they're real because my daddy walked on water. My daddy never exaggerated. My daddy never exaggerated, never mind lied. He says, and I'll never forget that. My daddy walked on water. And my daddy's passed away now. But if my daddy heard about people mocking you, he would tell me, you go help that man. And that's what he was calling me for. And he's always been a supporter of mine. And wow, right? And that's the immensity of this discovery, is there are great men and women out there. There are fathers and family members that have family members that have seen a Sasquatch and they just went, they're real. Done. That is integrity. That is what I look for in this world. That's what we need more of, is people just go, holy crap. You know what? It should just take one person. It should take one person. One man comes forward and says, Bob Gimlin, incredible integrity. If I didn't know anything about Sasquatch and I met Bob Gimlin and he told me about what happened and that footage was real, Sasquatch are real. Bob Gimlin is it. That's the end right there. That man is so honest and so powerful. We in the, I don't want to call it the Sasquatch, the Bigfoot community, because there's not much community out there. Community is cooperating and standing together, and I have my community, and it's not, the Sasquatch community just doesn't, they're just competitive and very negative and derogatory. But that we are so lucky. Those of us who do research, probably the greatest, because there were tracks cast for the Patterson footage, it is the greatest piece of Sasquatch footage of all time. The bulge in the leg, the movement of the Sasquatch, the breasts on the female, and the casts that are tracked make it. There's a mid-tarsal joint in the foot that was cast in 1967. That footage is real, but hell with all that. I've met Bob Gimlin. What a man of integrity. We are so fortunate. We are fortunate to have him, Jeff Meldrum, John Bernagel. Bob Gimlin is, I met him. And you know how I met Bob Gimlin? I was at the Sasquatch Summit, and I went there because Survivor Man was showing up with John Bernagel and Jeff Meldrum. All my heroes are there, right? And they were there because of me. So I was the keynote speaker. And anyways, I met Bob Gimlin. But of course the haters are going around. And you know what? The majority of people there were just haters of mine. They were rude to me. They were rude to my son, for goodness sake. My little boy, my wonderful little boy. So that was just like breaking the straw that broke the camel's back, right? So I'm trying to hold it together, be positive, because I had such tremendous support. Anyways, people are going up to Bob Gimlin because he doesn't know anything about me and telling him I'm a hoaxer and a hater, hating on me and all this horrible stuff. And Bob Gimlin came over and he said, come here. And he went and he looked at my stuff and he looked at it and he stood up and he said, he says, everybody listen to me. 20 years ago, I was this man. 20 years ago, you were calling me a fraud and me a faker. And now you're giving me these medals. And he was given an award for a lifetime achievement for Sasquatch. And he said, I've seen a Sasquatch. And he looked at Jeff and John. They pointed, you haven't seen a Sasquatch. You haven't seen a Sasquatch. I've seen a Sasquatch in the Patterson footage. And he says, I'm telling you, this is a real Sasquatch. And he had a picture of Jake. And then he hung out with me. He told me, I'm a tremendous supporter of yours. And then he said, you know what, Todd? He showed me his little medal. He said, in 20 years, they're going to give you medals just like this. They're going to love you and embrace you. Just like with me, you're going to have to endure all the crap and the hatred just like I did. And he says, I was a boxer. I used to knock people out. Don't do that. And Bob Gimlin is just a little dude, right? But he's a pit bull. I love people like that. Little guys have saved my life. I owe the little guys. You better make damn sure of that. I stand up for the little guy because the little guy saves my life. In one area, I help the little guy. In 10 areas, he helps me. I don't want to say I'm a little guy supporter. Little guys are supportive of me. Little guys keep me standing, man. Those endurance guys, they're the ones that are going to be standing at the end of a 7-day, survival bout. Those dudes are the tough ass ones. Those are and Bob Gimlin is just I can't say enough good things about the guy. I just think he's freaking amazing from what I've met of him and what I know about his, you know, the point is that should be enough, you know? So I see Peter Birdsall say, men are not creatures of the night, but with that being said, I am a serious night hawk. Yeah, I love the night, but we don't see good in the darkness. And man, animals that are in the wilderness, oh my God, they see so good at night. It's so impressive. And the Sasquatch are amongst them. So I'm, I'm, I have to admit that I'm heavily on the side that the reason Sasquatch can see, I've seen them run and bolting at night and being dead silent. So there's some evidence of stuff it's a little paranormal about human beings that can see in pitch black. And I don't want to get into that stuff too because I'm getting real paranormal and I'm trying to be. I like to embrace the science a little more, but I believe that Sasquatch just their eyes light up a certain color. I don't really talk about that because I want to hear. It helps add to the authenticity of someone telling me they saw a Sasquatch and this is what they saw, and I don't want to help the fakers get those eye color shines right because I've seen Sasquatch at night many times, and the eye shine is always the same color. And I'm talking Montana, Washington State, British Columbia, Alberta, all those places I've definitively seen Sasquatch at night, and it's always been the same. So Pacific Northwest Sasquatch, yeah, they have a certain thing and a certain attribution that I can see in their eyes, and I keep that to myself mostly. Okay, more questions here. Alan Mann, hey Todd, have you seen a Sasquatch drinking water? Huh? No, I have never seen a Sasquatch drinking water. I've never seen a Sasquatch eating. I've never seen a Sasquatch hunting. I've seen tracks of a Sasquatch hunting and killing a deer, where I saw his tracks and I saw him like bending down and stalking, and then I looked over and I could see where a deer was, and I could see the tracks of him running at the deer, and then the deer running and him cutting off, getting the angle on him, and then a little bit of poop there where the deer was killed, because when you kill it, and it was a young deer, it was a fawn that wasn't a year old, it was under a year old. So those are they're very tasty, right? It's veal. So Sasquatch will do that. Bears, all predators kill babies like crazy. It's just the way it is. And, let's not get hating on anything, but that's what I've seen. But yeah, to see them drinking water, you'd kind of be catching them with their pants down, right? That would mean that I'd been able to see them. I can't see a Sasquatch drinking water when they know I'm there. So no, I've never seen that. My brother and friend saw a possible Sasquatch in Alabama years ago drinking water out of the river. He claimed it was laying face forward, drinking like a dog. Yeah, I don't know. What I can tell you is, yeah, that sounds a little. Of course, they would do it. I do that sometimes. Actually, I get the expeditioners to do that. It's just a way to connect with nature. I ask them to get down on all fours, put their lips in the glacier, beautiful water, and have a drink and feel that connectivity and feel that, because that water is all connected all the way up into the glacier, and it's life. You know what I mean? It's so, and the glacier water is just like a beautiful. It's freezing cold, icy, beautiful. It hits your lips. So I get them to do that, and I can see a Sasquatch doing that. But on the other side of that too, the Sasquatch have like, I saw Jake's hand, and I've seen it a couple times in other places. There's like a cup in their hand. Like, I have a flat, if this was a Sasquatch hand, you would see like an indentation there, a profound indentation. And, if they cup it like that, they could pick up water. But then again, would you want to drink like that? Because, if you're a Sasquatch, you're probably going to drink like 2 liters of water. So I could see that being a very natural way for them. And I love drinking like that. It's, I have a beard like a male Sasquatch would. I don't think female Sasquatch have much for facial hair. And, yeah, so I could see them getting down like that. But I've never seen them eating. I've seen the bodies of elk and deer that they've left because they snap off the ribs, but never drinking water at all. That's super cool though. Super cool. And in a place like Alabama, it's so different, right? That there is a better possibility of that happening because it's more populated. Maybe the Sasquatch has a greater tolerance for people being around. Maybe he even knew they were there and didn't care. Maybe it was a test. I always, they're so darn smart. They're so darn ahead. They might have had two Sasquatch over standing by them and said, I'm going to go drink some water to see how these guys react, right? I would actually say that's more likely. I'll go drink some water and let's see what these dudes do, right? And that's how advanced the species is. They're so far ahead of the game. It is unreal how far ahead they are. Like, every time I thought I was ahead of them, I was so far ahead I was actually behind. I have had great success, but it's just, if you look at how many times I've tried, 100 times, there's literally been probably nearly 1,000 days I've been trying to film Sasquatch, and I got, 9 videos now. That's not good. Right? So we're talking like less than 1% of the time I successfully film a Sasquatch, because every day I go on an expedition. Well, the expeditions are different though. I don't try to film them often on expeditions. So, because the expeditioners just want to see a Sasquatch, and having a camera would be damaging for them. That would decrease the possibility of them having a successful sighting. So a lot of expeditioners don't want cameras with them, and I encourage that. So the expeditioners, it's about the expeditioners when we go out. What's a cooperation? We cooperate, we have ideas, and we move forward based on that. Modern Explorer says, so at Cactus, Tex, best of luck. I'm going to see what hide and seek does. It's going to be intense and scary. Yeah, hide and seek. Cat and mouse, right? So Northwest Olympics again, working on it. The sign right now is keeping me out. I like my life too much now. Oh, I think maybe Northwest Olympics is having trouble because it's one of those private areas. And in the United States of America, when it says no trespassing, people have guns and they'll shoot you. Right? So honestly, I did that in Montana. Central Michigan Bigfoot researcher. There's one of my, and Cappy McCappy. Some of my fellow lions out here and tremendous supporters. I'm just starting to, as you might have seen at the beginning of the show, guys, I'm just starting to be so grateful for my supporters. So grateful. Hundreds of them, thousands of them, dozens of them, it doesn't matter. I'm so grateful my supporters, really and truthfully, guys. I'm speechless. So anyways, Lola Gabriel, I saw a video on a show about Bigfoot where the experts said that the particular, isn't that funny? Who's a Bigfoot expert, really? Not me. Don't say that about me. So anyways, I understand. Anyways, let's get on with that. So little details. Said that this particular group have learned to make fire. What do you think about it? No. That's what an expert said? That's what I say to that. Why would they make fire? Come on. No. They're going to make fire. What the hell? There's 1,000 reasons to just boom, 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 boom. That's what just happened in my head. Like Sasquatch love raw meat. Sasquatch, they're stealthy. When they see people making fires, they go, holy crap. You can see the fire for 20 miles in all directions, right? In cover. You can still see the fire. Like you're basically walking around naked, with a target on your back when you're lighting a fire. You leave fire. Like, come on. I know the Sasquatch absolutely love being raw. If you gave them cooked meat, they'd probably spit it out. They would. They'd be like, puh, what the hell? I've learned this because I don't like cooked salmon anymore. I like it raw. I love sushi. My little boy, he's for years, I have video of him eating this enormous chunk of raw tuna, just like he closes his mouth and his full face is exploding with raw tuna and just bliss, like, the tastiest thing he's ever eaten in his mouth. And he would say that, oh my God, my mouth, Dad, just like dancing, because we love raw fish. And when you're born and raised with raw, the deliciousness of raw, I've even eaten a lot of, I took bites out of a deer's heart after I'd killed it in some of my training, after I'd hunted it and killed it. In the training I did with my native teacher, it was delicious, man. A raw heart. So why would they want fire? What the hell is the purpose of it? Raw meat eaters, gives away your position. There's 1,000 reasons I go through that. It's ridiculous. No. And they fear technology. The story that I tell people about Sasquatch, and they just don't want any, they know that technology, once you start down that road, it makes you crazy. It separates you from nature. They fear that tremendously. So that is absolute horse malarkey. That's one of the silliest things I've heard in a long, long time. And being boots on the ground, being the guy that's out there, being the guy that devotes most of his life to thinking like a Sasquatch and interacting with the Sasquatch, is what I think of that. Sorry, I don't mean to be. And it's funny because, okay, so now you're talking about a guy who calls himself an expert. People call me an expert a lot, and I have to suck it up. I'll smile. Hey, here's the Bigfoot expert. Well, I guess relative speaking, compared to normal people, I have a certain level of expertise. But I've ever seen, he asked how many questions today. I go, I don't know. I haven't seen him drinking water. I don't know how many are a group. I've never seen a baby before. Like, this is not somebody you call an expert, right? I get tremendous success, and it's amazing the success that I've garnered. Amazing. I'm really impressed with that. I'm not trying to be disrespectful to my fans and people, but what do they eat at certain times of year? How often do they eat elk or deer or bighorn sheep or bear? I don't know. I'm not. We're so far away from that right now. But my heart tells, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm being a jerk here, laughing about that, but I don't think so. Every single piece of information, everything I've ever felt in my heart and soul about this species, they'd be disgusted with starting a fire and having a fire. Fire is pathetic and weak to them. I build a fire for survival purposes. I build a fire for life's energy. There are days where I require survival. I have a garbage bag buried, like 3 garbage bags out in the bush, buried with wood in it to keep it dry in case I have an emergency where I can start a damn fire, because fire will save my life. Sasquatch don't need that. No way. They never. That's their home, man. They're not just safe there, it's comfortable, it's beautiful, they love it. What the hell can you imagine a Sasquatch trying to start you know what I mean? No. So many reasons, there's just no way. But thanks for a great question, right? How often do you see me get like that? Right? I guess often. I'm a little passionate. Central Michigan Bigfoot Research. Todd, check out How to Hunt on YouTube. I think you would. Yeah, I know about how to hunt. So, but yeah, I don't know. He's an expert. He's a hunting expert, and that's awesome. Congratulations to him. I don't hear, anyways, there's stuff behind the scenes, and I don't know what's going on with that. So I have to be skeptical about people that's, I don't know, people are just they have so much animosity and stuff, and there's been some derogatory, he's definitively said, why pay for an expedition? Just go for free. And why pay for my expedition? Okay, so when that's being thrown out there, so he's saying, don't buy an expedition, go out for free and do it yourself. Aren't you a guide? Don't people pay for an expedition to go hunting with you? Hypocrite! Right? And when you go on an expedition for me, you're paying for the trailer and the gas and the cell phones and the electric bikes and the food that you eat. That's what you're paying for, So it's, and basically, I mean, let's face it, I am at a celebrity status. I have thousands and tens of, maybe hundreds of thousands of fans. Millions of people know about me. I'm on TV all the time. I have a certain level of celebrity status. You basically get me for free. I don't think that's a lot to ask. So, but anyways, maybe things will get different. I don't know. And I have an expeditioner, my brother. Hey, my brother's going to have a baby, Cody. I'm going to be an uncle. So excited about that. It's coming really soon. So soon. So I'm so stoked about that. I get to be an uncle right away. I'm freaking stoked. Shout out to my brother in Squamish, Cody, and his wonderful wife and the children and the stepchildren that he has. So happy for you guys. So, but anyways, Cody's out there, and I'm going to let Cody go work the how to hunt and figure that stuff out. So anyways, I'm trying to be real nice. So, oh, was he talking about Matt? I don't know. I get these things, right? I'm sorry. I don't know. But anyways, my expeditions, my God, guys, I've made most of my best friends now are expeditioners. It's gonna if people are slagging on my expeditions, it's going to hurt my feelings because it's changed my life. I was in this show. I was talking about my beautiful dog. I love my Roddy. She's like a member of my family. She is a member of my family, and her leg was damaged really badly, and I couldn't afford to get it fixed. So that's why I did the first year's expeditions, was for her. So, and then I was forced to do expeditions because my beautiful girl had a badly injured leg. So it ended up healing on its own. But I did these expeditioners, and I met these incredible men and women that changed my life forever. And then they enriched they changed my life with friendship. They taught me as much as I ever taught them. They enriched and made this cooperation so much bigger and so much more powerful that I will do expeditions forever now. One way or another, if I'm not doing Sasquatch stuff, I'll do survival or just take people out to beautiful waterfalls and how to drink here. Just teach them how to love the wilderness and so yeah. A few more questions here. Todd's perfectly acceptable pay for guided expeditions. It's been worried it was free. I'd be worried if it was free, right? Because then I'd be paying for them. For God's sake, you guys got to understand, like even the documentary, you should be, if you watch the documentary and you enjoyed it, give me a call, send me an email, say thank you because I spent tens of thousands of dollars. A gentleman spent hundreds of thousands of dollars, and I donated all my time for free. That was a huge loss financially, enormous loss, like loss of time, but it's not a loss because it's got that information. I did what I said I could do. I took somebody out and showed them a Sasquatch. It was a PhD, Jeff Meldrum. So, but it was a tremendous loss to financially for that documentary. So, yeah. So, what was I? So that's that. That's what. Just it's great information. Share it. Show it to people. For those of you who've seen a Sasquatch and need vindication, just put that documentary on and say, look at these three awesome guys, maybe at least two awesome guys, Jeff Meldrum and John Benedego. Just amazing gentlemen, and look at the success that they garnered under the guidance of Todd Standing. And that's why I'm very proud of that. Very proud of that film. And all the crap people said I couldn't get the shots, I couldn't take people out and show them a Sasquatch, I couldn't edit it, I couldn't film it, I couldn't write it, I couldn't do the sound. Did it, done it, have a good day. I'm actually a professional filmmaker. I made that freaking movie, with very little help. When it was the director, the producer, the editor, the sound, that was all me. I did all that stuff. I'm making another movie now on this bloody computer. This little computer's little laptop right here. This is the laptop this is the laptop making the new movies. That was an older laptop that I had that made the other ones. But it's just me, guys. It's just me. So don't let people tell you can't do it, because you can. All these guys out here working here. How do I get a movie done? Do it. Freaking learn how to use a camera. Learn how to shoot with a camera. Write your own storylines because you were there. It's not even. I feel like I'm lying when I say I wrote it. What I wrote is I just told what was happening, right? But that's more than that. So it's what I deduced based on the experiences. So you do have to write it. You do have to think and figure out what was happening and what you're learning, right? So yeah, Kimberly. We're down lower than that. Todd, what's your next step? Just keep doing expeditions, and my next step is I move forward expecting miracles, and I'm expecting something spectacular to happen. I can't really make a prediction. I mean, I'll continue to try to get video footage, but there's another step. It just even when networks and all these people come to me and say, hey, can you write a script for the story for what's going to happen? I can't write. The Sasquatch do it. I don't know what the hell. I don't know what the weather's going to be like. I don't know if a bear's going to chase me around and then push me into a Sasquatch habitat and then I'll get this incredible, you know what I mean? I have no idea. It's up to the Sasquatch. It's up to them. I just go out there with an open heart, and I do have ideas, and I am working for stuff, but we'll just take it step by step. And usually I come into it a new year with these goals and with these things to do, and then the Sasquatch just teach me all new lessons, and it goes off in a whole different way. So I don't even want to make predictions. Whatever the Sasquatch have in store for me, they're my teachers. They're the cats out there, and I'm the mouse. So they take good care of me, and you know, happiest wife ever. I'm so happy to be part of the wolf pack. You are. You are. So you guys are so awesome. So yeah, a great movie. Thank you, Heather. I appreciate that. Smile at a hater. Keep walking. They hate it. Yeah. Andrew says, Lola, for me, it's the $10,000 question. What's the $10,000 question? How often do you go out, Todd? About every second week when it's not wintertime. I don't chase the Sasquatch in the winter because I would damage and hurt them. So, anyways, you guys are awesome. So, sign a poster for me, please. Done deal, happiest wife ever. You're a donator, aren't you? So I'm going through those donators. I'm going to send you guys out to that stuff. So I'm going to go to the chat room for a little bit. The chat room is no password tonight, and there's the link for it. It's discoveringbigfoot.net. Is that right, Phil? Live chat? I thought it was discoveringbigfoot.org. Darn it. Phil, can you post something real quick? Because that doesn't seem right to me. I guess we own discoveringbigfoot.net too, right? So, yeah, so I'm going to go to the chat room. Man, I can't promise this every time, but the last chat room, boom, right? That's all I'm going to say about that. Ask Amanda and I don't know, the 10 or 15 of the people that were in that chat room. They kept pushing me, and finally I went, boom! Man, did they get it, right? They did. I had Phil, our web guy, take that chat room down. Because, man, you want to talk about controversy? I blew shit up. I'm sorry, I swore, Amanda. I apologize. I blew stuff up. My people, my closest people, were there. They did this, right? I dropped a bomb. So you never know what's going to happen. No promises. Yes, it's .net. Thank you, Phil. Okay. So I'll even, yeah, so I got to go find that. So chat room was very special. Yeah, you see Amanda. Amanda says it was special. She's so nice. But you know, you don't mess with her. She's a lion, boy. She's, sorry, I'm getting that confused, right? Lions and wolves. But anyways, she's part of the, you know, she's horrific amounts of integrity. And I love, she's got such a stand-up attitude. And I know all you guys do. Anyone, SoCal Forest Ninjas and I had a little thing where we were like, he didn't agree with something I said, and I think I'm completely right, and he thinks he's completely right, and one of us is, maybe we're both a little bit right, I don't know. I just love spine. I love backbone, you know? And yeah, integrity like that, isn't it? It's just so rare nowadays, right? And I can't help but feel like you guys are just the I guess it's kind of a cliche, the diehard fans that are out there. Oh my God. Like, you guys just support me and you got my back. I've been on the bush with some of these people, and they just, you know, the stuff that I've seen where something terrifying happens, a bear comes charging at us, and these guys are like, they got my back and my front and my sides, and these people are, man, the integrity I've met. I was a doorman in nightclubs while I was going to university for years, and met some tough dudes that had my back. But I started doing Sasquatch expeditions, and I've met the toughest dudes, the highest caliber of human beings. You know, even with Survivor Man and Jeff Meldrum and John Benernagel and other awesome, amazing people that I've taken out. It's just like the integrity, the depth of character has changed me forever. So much for the better, right? So that's it for today, guys. See a few more questions there. Fire a story is told of a scout leader finding a structure hut with a nest inside. He went back the day to do a photo, etc., and there was a long pit full of burned wood. The structure hut was burned. Yeah, I would. That's from Steve Hulls. I heavily would think, or maybe a Sasquatch took a fire from somewhere else and threw it in there to burn it or something. It's just not something. See, even that, if that's the fire story, that's not the Sasquatch. That's just, if a Sasquatch burn something, they may have took fire from somewhere. I could see them doing something minor like that, but absolutely not having fire and making fire in the wilderness. No way. So, but anyways, y'all have a good night. Go in the chat room for a bit. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Throwback Thursday. I had a horrible weekend last weekend, so I didn't do the weekend video. Please forgive. I'm tremendously sorry. When you guys, there's tremendous stuff going on with me right now. So you guys take care. Todd from Maryland here. Interesting coverage as I watch. Thank you, and look out for further findings. Been listening to Dr. Meldrum recently, and he's another great. Yeah, he's so great. He's so great. His book, his pamphlet, is the best thing I've ever seen out there. Jeff Meldrum's pamphlet on Sasquatch. Oh my God, I got to start putting that on my website, just just to help, people, help you guys, because it's wonderful, tremendous information. So y'all take care. Have a wonderful week, and I'll be back. There's a 99% chance I'll be back next Wednesday. And thanks so much for tuning in, guys. You have a good night. Hey, Ashley! Washington, how's it going? So excited Ashley got a track. Anyways, we got to go. So y'all have